All right, let's be honest. When it comes to the bedroom, men like to act like they've got it all figured out. They walk around with that swagger, throwing out little smirks like they're the world's greatest lover. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Most men have no idea how to communicate what they actually want. Why? Because society has programmed them to believe they're supposed to know everything about sex without ever talking about it. They're taught to be confident, to take the lead, and to just naturally be good at it. But deep down, there are things they crave in bed that they'd never admit to. Not because they don't trust you, not because they don't want them, but because they're either too shy to bring them up or too afraid of being judged. So what happens? They just go with the flow. They do what they think is expected of them. And while they might still enjoy the experience, a part of them is holding back, waiting for someone who really understands what they want without them having to spell it out. And that's where you come in. Because if you can tap into these secret desires, the things he's dying for, but won't say out loud, you're going to create an experience that is completely unforgettable for him. You're going to have him looking at you like you just read his mind. And that is what makes a man obsessed with you. So today, I'm pulling back the curtain. I'm going to tell you 5 things men desperately want in bed, but are too shy to ask for. And trust me, once you know these, you'll never look at intimacy the same way again. Let's get into it. Most men have been conditioned to believe that they have to take the lead in the bedroom. From movies to magazines to those ridiculous locker room conversations, there's this idea that a real man is always in charge, always knows exactly what to do, and always takes control of the situation. But here's the thing no one tells you. Men don't always want to be the one in control. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of guys like leading. They enjoy feeling confident, making the first move and setting the pace. But deep down, they also crave the experience of letting go. They want to feel what it's like when a woman takes charge, when she makes the decisions, when she's the one steering the experience in a way that makes them feel wanted, desired, and completely consumed by the moment. The truth is, most guys won't admit this. Why? Because they've been taught that asking for it makes them look weak, that it somehow takes away from their masculinity. So instead of saying, I'd love it if you took control tonight, they'll just wait, hoping, praying that you'll do it without them having to ask. And when you do, oh, trust me, it blows his mind. Because when a woman takes control in the bedroom, it sends a powerful message. It tells him, I want you. Not just in a, sure, let's do this kind of way, but in an, I can't wait to have you way. And that level of desire, that is irresistible to a man. So what does this actually look like? It doesn't mean you have to become someone you're not. You don't have to turn into some kind of Hollywood dominatrix overnight. Taking control can be subtle, playful, and completely natural. It can be as simple as initiating things first without waiting for him to make the first move, guiding his hands to where you want them, whispering exactly what you want him to do next, changing the pace, teasing him, making him wait for it, pinning him down for once, making him feel the rush of anticipation. The magic of taking control isn't just about dominance. It's about creating a dynamic where he doesn't have to think. For a man, that's rare, because in most areas of life, whether it's work, family, or even just social expectations, he's expected to be in charge, to figure things out, to lead. But in the bedroom, when you step up and take over, even for a little while, it gives him the chance to just feel, to let go of the pressure, to completely surrender to the moment. And that makes the experience unforgettable. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I'm not naturally dominant? What if I don't know how to take control? The answer, you don't have to be dominant to take control. You just have to be intentional. Think of it like this. Imagine you're dancing with someone. If both of you are waiting for the other person to take the lead, you're going to end up just standing there, right? But if one person gently guides the movement, the whole thing flows smoothly. The same applies here. It's not about being aggressive. It's about being clear in your intention. It's about showing him that you're just as engaged in the experience as he is, and that you're not afraid to show it. And here's a little secret. Taking control doesn't just excite a man, it also creates an emotional connection. Because when he sees that you're comfortable enough to take the lead, it tells him something powerful. comfortable, that you trust him, that you feel safe enough with him to explore, to experiment, and to be fully present in the moment. And that's what makes sex go from good to mind-blowing. So the next time you're with him, pay attention. Notice the little moments where he hesitates, where he pauses, where he's waiting to see what you do. And in those moments, surprise him. Take over. Let him feel what it's like to be with a woman who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to show it. Because trust me, once you do, he won't just love it, he'll be craving it. Most men, whether they admit it or not, love being guided in the bedroom. They might not openly ask for it, and some might even act like they already know exactly what they're doing, but the truth is, men crave direction. The problem, they don't want to feel like they're being criticized. Here's the thing, intimacy is just like anything else in life. No one is born knowing exactly what to do. But because men are expected to be naturally good at it, they feel an immense amount of pressure to perform without asking questions. Society has conditioned them to believe that their worth as a man is tied to their skills in the bedroom. So admitting they might need guidance, that's terrifying. Now, here's where things get tricky. If a man is with a woman who simply expects him to read her mind, he's going to struggle. He might even start to feel insecure, wondering if he's really satisfying her or if she's just going along with it to avoid awkwardness. On the flip side, if a woman corrects him in a way that feels critical, like saying, "No, not like that," or sighing in frustration, he's going to shut down because at that point, it doesn't feel like guidance, it feels like failure. So what's the solution? It's giving him direction in a way that makes him feel empowered, not embarrassed. Men don't just want to please you, they need to. It's one of the biggest factors in how they measure their own success in a relationship. When they feel like they're making you happy, they feel like they're winning. And if you can guide him in a way that makes him feel like he's getting closer to that win, rather than making him feel like he's messing up, you will completely change the game. So how do you do that? It's all about encouraging, not correcting. Instead of saying, "Not like that," try saying, "I love it when you do this." Instead of pushing his hand away, guide it where you want it. Instead of stopping him mid-movement, gently adjust his pace while making it clear that you're enjoying it. It might seem like a small difference, but to a man, it's everything. Because when you phrase things in a way that makes him feel like he's winning, he'll want to keep doing it. He won't feel self-conscious or hesitant. He'll feel confident and excited to keep exploring with you. Another key here, positive reinforcement. If he does something you love, let him know. Whether it's a simple, "That feels amazing," or a breathy moan, those little reactions give him the feedback he needs. Men don't want to guess if they're doing something right. They want confirmation. The more you show your appreciation for the things he does well, the more he'll focus on doing more of them. And here's another layer to this. Guidance isn't just about what he does physically. It's also about emotional direction. A lot of women assume that men always want things to be wild, fast, and intense, but that's not always the case. Sometimes men crave slower, deeper, more emotionally connected experiences, but they might not know how to ask for it. This is why your energy and your responsiveness are so important. If you show him that you're open to a deeper connection, he'll feel safer leaning into that. If you take a moment to slow things down, to really look into his eyes, to breathe with him, you'll tap into something that most women don't. And that's the level where real, unforgettable intimacy happens. The other mistake women make when it comes to giving direction, thinking that men want the same kind of feedback. Women do. Women tend to be more verbal, more analytical, and more focused on the details. Men, on the other hand, are more instinctive. They respond more to physical cues than long explanations. So instead of giving him a full breakdown of what he should or shouldn't be doing, focus on how you react in the moment. A soft moan, a subtle movement of your hips, a hand guiding him where you want him. These are the things that tell a man exactly what he needs to know. And the best part? It allows him to learn without feeling like he's being corrected. He'll start to pick up on your body's reactions, understanding what excites you without needing a detailed conversation about it. Now, does this mean you should never talk about intimacy outside of the bedroom? Not at all. In fact, one of the most powerful things you can do is bring up your desires in a playful, light-hearted way before you're in the heat of the moment. For example, if you're out on a date, you could casually say, you know what I love when a guy does this? Or there's something incredibly sexy about a guy who takes his time with that. By framing it as something exciting rather than a list of instructions, we're setting the stage for a dynamic where he wants to learn, wants to improve, and wants to make the experience even better for you, because he knows that every time he does, you're going to respond in a way that makes him feel incredible too. At the end of the day, intimacy is about connection. It's about making each other feel wanted, understood, and deeply satisfied. When you learn how to guide him in a way that makes him feel empowered rather than criticized, you create an experience that isn't just physically fulfilling, but emotionally bonding. And that's what makes a man addicted to you. Men are highly responsive to sound, especially in moments of deep intimacy. In fact, one of the biggest turn-ons for a man isn't just what he sees or feels, it's what he hears. But here's the thing, it has to be real. There's a reason movies and certain industries have exaggerated sounds during intimate moments. It's because men are wired to respond to vocal expressions of pleasure. It's deeply psychological. When a man hears a woman expressing enjoyment, it validates him on a primal level. It tells him, you're doing this right. And that fuels his confidence, his excitement, and his desire to keep going. But, and this is so important, if he senses that you're faking it, it has the opposite effect. Because men might not always say it, but they know when a woman's reactions aren't genuine. And when they feel like you're just making noise to please them rather than because you're actually enjoying yourself, it doesn't excite them, it makes them question everything. Now, let's talk about why this matters beyond just making a man feel good. The reality is when you allow yourself to be fully expressive in the bedroom, it creates a stronger connection, not just physically, but emotionally. And that's what turns a man from just being interested in you to being addicted to you. See, most women are conditioned to be quieter in intimate moments. Maybe they don't want to seem too eager. Maybe they worry about how they'll sound. Or maybe deep down they feel a sense of shame around fully expressing their pleasure. Society often tells women to be modest, to be demure, to be controlled. But guess what? When it comes to intimacy, control isn't what excites a man. Surrender is. And no, I don't mean surrendering to him. I mean surrendering to the moment, letting go, being fully present in what you're feeling and allowing yourself to express it naturally. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about being performative. You don't have to be loud for the sake of being loud. It's not about reenacting a scene from a movie or trying to impress him with over-the-top sounds. It's about tuning into what feels good for you and then letting yourself express that in a way that feels authentic. If you hold back because you're self-conscious about how you sound, he'll sense that hesitancy. And that hesitancy creates distance between you two, rather than pulling him in close. But if you allow yourself to react naturally, if you let out those soft sighs, those moans of pleasure, those breathy gasps, it's intoxicating for him. Why? Because it tells him that he's unlocking something in you, that he's the one making you feel this good. And that's what every man wants to believe. But here's the key. Your reactions should guide him. If he's doing something you love, don't just keep it to yourself. Let him know. Your breath quickening, your grip tightening, a soft whisper of yes. All of these things act like a roadmap for him. They teach him what works for you without you ever having to say it outright. And if he's doing something that isn't working for you, instead of going silent, which makes him nervous, shift your energy to something that does feel good. Guide his hands, change the rhythm, adjust your body in a way that subtly redirects him. That way he doesn't feel like he's being rejected, but rather like he's being led toward what you truly enjoy. The other reason men crave this kind of verbal and physical responsiveness, it makes intimacy feel less mechanical. Too often people go through the motions without really being in the moment. But when you allow yourself to react in real time, when your sounds and movements match the rhythm of what's happening, it creates a kind of chemistry that is electrifying. Think about it. Have you ever had a moment where you were so into something that you forgot to be self-conscious? Maybe it was dancing, singing, or laughing uncontrollably with a friend. That feeling of just being lost in the moment. That's what intimacy should feel like. And when you bring that energy into the bedroom, you create an experience that a man can't stop thinking about. Because here's the truth. It's not just about what happens physically. It's about the emotion behind it. Men don't just want a woman who goes along with things. They want a woman who is fully present with them, who is enjoying it as much as they are, who is showing them in real time that they are driving her wild. And when a man feels that, when he knows without a doubt that he's bringing you real pleasure, that's what makes him obsessed with you. That's what makes him crave being with you again and again, because it's not just about the physical act. It's about the energy you bring into it. So if you want to create an intimate connection that sticks with him long after the moment is over, don't just focus on what you do. Focus on what you express. Let yourself be heard. Let yourself be felt. And most importantly, let yourself enjoy every second of it. Because when you do, that's when he truly can't get enough of you. Men might not always say it, but they love when a woman initiates intimacy outside of the bedroom. And I don't just mean physically, I mean emotionally, playfully, and with that subtle, irresistible energy that keeps them thinking about you long after you've walked away. Here's the thing, most guys are used to being the ones to make the first move when it comes to affection. They're the ones expected to initiate, to lead, to read the signals and take action. And while some men genuinely enjoy that role, there's something undeniably thrilling about a woman who flips the script, who surprises him with affection, who makes him feel desired, and who reminds him that attraction isn't just a one-way street. Why does this work so well? Because attraction isn't just about what happens in the bedroom. It's about the build-up. It's about the little moments of connection that happen throughout the day. The small gestures that create tension, desire, and excitement before things even get to that intimate space. Picture this. You're sitting across from him at dinner, and instead of waiting for him to reach for your hand, you casually place your fingers on his, tracing slow circles with your thumb as you talk. Or maybe you're walking next to him, and instead of just holding his arm, you run your fingers lightly down his bicep before slipping your hand into his. These moments, they matter because they communicate something powerful, that you're not just with him, you're into him. And here's the kicker. When you initiate intimacy in subtle, everyday ways, it translates into how he feels about you on a much deeper level. It tells him that you're comfortable in your attraction, that you're confident in your connection, and that he doesn't have to constantly be the one keeping the spark alive. You're just as invested in making things exciting. Now let's talk about the kind of intimacy that isn't just physical. For sure, a well-placed kiss or a playful touch is amazing, but sometimes what a man craves even more is emotional intimacy. It's the way you lean in when he talks, making him feel like you're hanging on to every word. It's the way you send him a text out of the blue that says, "I was just thinking about you and I can't wait to see you later." It's the way you look at him in a crowded room, like he's the only one there. Men feel these things, they notice them, and when a woman takes the lead in these small ways, it does something to him. It makes him want her even more. Think about it. When you're always waiting for him to initiate, you're putting all the pressure on him to maintain the attraction. But when you take the lead, sometimes you're telling him, "I want this just as much as you do," and that is irresistible to a man. And it doesn't have to be anything over the top. It can be something as simple as whispering in his ear when no one else is around, "I can't wait to be alone with you later." It can be playfully running your hand across the back of his neck as you walk past him in the kitchen. It can be the way you tease him with a look, a laugh, a moment of tension that tells him, "You have no idea what I'm thinking right now." But you're about to find out. And here's the best part. When you do this outside of intimate moments, it makes everything feel more electric inside the bedroom. Because intimacy isn't just about what happens in those private moments. It's about the anticipation. It's about the excitement that builds before you even touch. Most women wait for their man to create that energy, but the women who men can't stop thinking about, they create it themselves. They understand that attraction isn't just a passive thing. It's something you cultivate, something you play with, something you lean into with confidence and fun. So if you want a man to be completely drawn to you, to crave you in a way that goes beyond just physical attraction, don't just wait for him to start things. Show him that you're just as into him as he is into you. Because when a man feels wanted in that way, when he sees that you desire him, that you're not just receiving affection, but giving it too, that's when he starts to feel something even stronger than just attraction. That's when he starts to fall. Men love feeling wanted, really wanted, not just like they're fulfilling a role or checking off a box, but like you desire them for who they are, not just what they can do for you. Too often, intimacy can feel like an expectation rather than an experience. And trust me, he knows when it feels like you're just going through the motions. What he truly craves is that spark, that feeling that you are just as excited as he is, that you want him, not just because it's the right time or because he made the first move, but because he genuinely excites you. And this isn't about grand gestures. It's in the little things. It's the way you look at him when he walks into the room, the way you pull him closer in a way that says, I can't get enough of you. The way you initiate without waiting for him to make the first move. Because here's the truth. When a man feels desired, it lights something up inside him. It makes him feel masculine, attractive, and deeply connected to you in a way that goes beyond the physical. And when he knows that you crave him as much as he craves you, that's when he stops thinking about you and starts obsessing over you. At the end of the day, what truly makes a man crave you, really crave you, isn't just about physical attraction. It's about the way you make him feel when he's around you. It's the desire, the playfulness, the confidence, and the genuine connection that keeps him coming back for more. Men don't just want to be wanted. They want to feel chosen. They want to feel like they ignite something in you, like they're not just another guy, but your guy. And when you show that through your energy, your touch, your words, and your presence, it creates an irresistible pull that he won't be able to ignore. So don't be afraid to express your desire. Don't hold back from initiating. Don't wait for him to set the tone. You set it, because the moment he realizes that you're just as into him as he is into you, that's when he stops seeing you as someone he's dating and starts feeling like he needs you in his life. If you love this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more relationship insights. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing you think makes a man completely hooked on you? Let's talk about it.